Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode. And in this episode, I'm going to encourage you to use cheap cameras and to over-process your images. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're like most of us, if you're into photography and you're not a full-time professional photographer, even if you do some professional work, a lot of the work that you do is just for your own personal enjoyment, and a lot of it is for your friends and family and all of that. And sometimes you just don't want to lug around an expensive camera, even if that camera is small. So many of us still have inexpensive compact cameras. Now, this is not a terribly inexpensive camera. This is a Sony HV90, still a little bit on the pricey side, but a lot of other cameras that are less expensive would work too. And I was recently on a early morning bike ride. So I live in the far suburbs of Chicago. I'm about 35 miles away from the downtown of Chicago. So I'm kind of out there. But if you know Chicago, you know that we have a beautiful lakefront. And a couple of times a year, I'll usually go out and ride on that lakefront. And a tradition that I have with a good friend of mine is we try to do it at dawn. So just as the sun is coming up, we're already down there on our bikes and we get to witness the sunrise across Lake Michigan. It's a lot of fun. This time we went along with his son, who is about 8 years old, and we rode along the lake and had a great time. So I brought with me a small camera. Again, this is a HV90, but it could be a variety of cameras. And yes, it has a 1/2.3 sensor, and but it still takes great pictures. And then when I got those pictures home, I really went kind of crazy with them. And I like to oversaturate stuff. So I really oversaturated them, and I added color casts, and I did all sorts of other stuff, because these are not pictures that I'm going to publish in a magazine or try to sell to someone. These are for my own personal enjoyment. And I will tell you, it is so much fun to just over manipulate. You know, you go HDR crazy, make stuff look like it's cartoon-like. Who cares? Because you're really creating art. And when I do a lot of my photography for my own personal pleasure, it's more than just taking a picture, registering a birthday cake or something. It really is the art involved. It's the angle. It's that unusual view of that person. It's the way the light catches this thing over here or whatever. And then if you can accentuate that even further with just crazy, wild editing, all the better. So I'm going to show you some of those pictures from today, just for the fun of it. And again, I'm not saying that these are, and you're saying, oh, they're too saturated. Oh, you went too crazy on your HDR. Yes, I did. And I encourage you to do the same, because it's a lot of fun. And I would also encourage you to sometimes just use a cheap little camera that you can just pick up inexpensively and take those pictures, because even though we have been conditioned to think that we need to have a full frame camera and we need to have thousands of dollars worth of lenses, you can do amazing and fun stuff with an inexpensive compact camera. So let me show you some of those pictures and I'll be back. Well, there you have it. Some fun pictures from a dawn bike ride along Lake Michigan in Chicago on Lakeshore Drive. Take care, everyone. Oh, and if you get some time, please give my podcast a listen. It's called Psychiatric Secrets Revealed. It's with myself and my wife. I'm a psychiatrist. She's a psychologist. Blah, 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 blah. It's kind of fun. The other thing that I would say is, if you want to learn more about me, drmikekuna.com, DrMikeKuna.com is a personal blog. It's a writing experiment, so you can learn a little bit more about me and all kind of details that maybe you don't even want to know, but they're there if you want to read them. That's available. And I know one of my listeners commented about the nice hat, that this is my super cool setup here. You know, I've got everything arranged so perfectly. It looks like I'm wearing this lampshade on my head. You're right. I don't know. What am I going to do? I am what I am. So anyways, bye everyone.